Okay, so this is a... Do I leave it in my pocket? Do I just put it down there?
Probably there is best.
Okay.
All right. This is a Two Fat Guys Talk, episode 91. We just saw Star Trek Star Trek Beyond really late, and our driving home edition.
And yeah, no, this I'm glad I saw it in theaters because this was a good Star Trek movie. It really was.
I definitely say it's on par with the other two alternate history ones that we got from Star Trek.
I liked it better than part 2.
I definitely think there are things it did better than part 2. I thought part 2 is really solid except for just a few glaring plot holes and the really, really icky, oh look, she's naked scene, which was absolutely not necessary.
Agreed.
But otherwise, I really enjoyed Star Trek Into Darkness.
Oh, so did I. It's just, if I had to put them in order, it would have been 1, then 2. Now it's 1, then 3, then 2. For me, at least.
Oh yeah, fair enough. If I was going to do that, I'd do 2, 1, and 3. I think I rank this one as weaker than the other two, but
okay.
only just barely, because I was a little worried about Fast and Furious director being here, but what we got out of that was just little fun, absurd moments. Kind of like the moments in Star Trek Insurrection that were like really purposely absurd, but unlike Insurrection, these ones worked, like the blaring music destroying the swarm and whatnot. Everything in this movie, every plot element introduced had a purpose.
Yep.
And then all came together. Everything from the little artifact that Kirk was holding at the beginning to his logs. What I didn't like, Krull is kind of a weak villain until you discover who he is. And to the film's credit, they were kind of hinting at that.
Simon Pegg helped write this one.
Yeah, and Simon Pegg's a good writer.
And he's a good writer, and I like him as an actor as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured that out the moment they found the ship.
Sure.
The moment they actually showed the log, when they were showing the mess hall, I'm like, okay, he's the old captain.
Sure.
Because unfortunately, that's one thing I'll take a point away from the movie, is that storyline's been done in every series of Star Trek that's ever existed.
Oh, sure.
It's a Star Trek trope.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, that doesn't ruin the impact of the old soldier who lost his way kind of thing. And Krull became a much better villain when it's laid out bare that he was actually Balthazar there. So I mean,
good name for him too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely, even though it's a little bit of a tropey plot, it's neat to see the old soldier who couldn't let go. Although, in a way, the old soldier who couldn't let go was exactly the villain of Star Trek Into Darkness. Both Khan, Noonien, Soong, and the one human guy, they were both that guy. Yeah. So, after future Romulan, the only villains we seem to have left for this new history of Star Trek are corrupted humans, right?
Yeah, and... Look, I know they don't want to rip directly out of the old Star Trek series. I can respect that, while just making references. But you've got a gold mine of material from everything from classic Star Trek to Next Generation. Make some use of the stuff you've got. They've already proven they can grab references out of the original material and do entirely new things with them. This movie just kind of came across to me as much as I love it, it's like a holding pattern. They're like, okay, come on. When are we bringing in the Borg? Come on.
Yeah.
When's the Borg? Okay, nope, it's too early to bring in the Borg. Okay, we'll maybe do another movie.
I was seriously hoping for the Borg. I hope I don't know if there's going to be another movie in this universe. I hope it's the Borg, though, because you have an alternate history. Play with it. Don't just make it kind of a mirror. Make it really different.
We've got a little bit of a hint via one of the casting calls. They've casted Kirk's father.
Oh, nice.
So we're probably going to have some time travel involved.
Again,
yeah.
So I mean,
I like the shout out to Leonard Nimoy within the movie.
Yeah, absolutely, and to the old Star Trek crew.
And I was a little bit surprised they didn't knock off Chekhov in the movie, but maybe they had all that done before he actually tragically passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
And in that case, it's rather nice they didn't just bang, you're dead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were I have some big issues with this film.
Okay.
I mean,
well, hey, that's what we're here for.
The corny stuff with the music is great. I love that. I know there are a lot of people who are going to hate that shit, but I'm not one of them. All that cornball stuff is stuff that I definitely appreciate. So, I mean, the corny stuff that I'm sure a lot of diehard Trek fans hate, I love. I'm fine with that. My issue was a more fundamental issue with the crew of the Enterprise being so passive when Krall had them fucking prisoner. The fucking guy has Sulu in his grasp and is about to kill him, and everyone just stands there and lets it happen. I have a difficult time believing a Starfleet fucking crew would just sit there, let it happen, and
not attack,
not fucking put up way more of a resistance. That they wouldn't be all on board for something like that. I have a big problem with, and I'm sure they could have found a way around that little issue while still having the plot go the way they want, right?
Agreed.
Some unnecessary killing, like Spiderhead Lady, who basically is a hero, an unsung hero of the movie, was just murdered for no reason, just to show off the weapon. I'm not a fan of just killing characters, especially women, just for no reason other than, oh no, tragedy. I don't like that one bit. The nature of the weapon itself is stupid as shit. It's
a bioweapon that eats away at an organic matter?
Yeah, fine, but I mean, it's apparently... I have a difficult time believing that this ancient weapon is anything beyond current Starfleet technology. I do believe that Krall's fleet and his strategy of having just a smaller swarm, a swarm of smaller ships, it would work, especially since he has Federation knowledge and has been monitoring them for years and years and years. So, I mean, that I'm fine with, but the idea that this ancient bioweapon is the one thing he needed to carry out this plan, like the nature of that weapon and the fact that
he'd wasted so much time looking for it,
and it kind of just fell into his lap, that's a little too many coincidences at once, right?
Well, it didn't really fall into his lap. He was monitoring all Starfleet logs.
Sure.
So once a picture of it popped up, he just went out and got it. Like, I really have no problem with that. I mean, he was extending his life using the crews of other starships. So the fact that it took him, hundreds of years or 100 years for it to pop up, he was looking at the long term. He part of his madness was that he had given himself over to this plan of starting yet another galactic war, because that made everything better.
Sure, fine. I mean, I saw the movie, I get that, but at the same time, the means with which that story was told was kind of... It was a little too plot-hole riddled for me to forgive us all.
Okay.
And this was a fun movie, don't get me wrong, but it almost plays out like an extended episode of a TV series in this universe, which doesn't exist. That, I mean, had some oh shit moments, ships got destroyed, kind of shocking moments added to it, just because it's on the big screen, right? That doesn't make this a bad film. I do think it was, in a way, it felt kind of unnecessary, because we have a villain that's kind of a rehash of things we've seen before, and we had a plot that's kind of a rehash of things we've seen before, and I mean, I'm kind of having a tough time deciding where they go from here if they don't do the Borg.
Well, okay, let's deviate a little bit on this and kind of say what we like and what we hate. Yeah. Where do you want to see it go from here if it wasn't the Borg?
Oh, God. The Jem'Hadar? I don't know. early Dominion War.
But I think that's the problem that they've maybe written themselves into, is all the big bads really don't stand a chance.
Well, here's the thing, though. They kind of do if they have access to some of that technology that came back from the future, right? I mean, the course of this alternate history has changed a lot, and the Federation obviously got their hands on a lot of future tech and have advanced much earlier to a much further place,
yeah.
Right? But I mean, there's nothing to say that remnants of the guy, whoever the name of the guy in the first movie was, remnants of his ship didn't somehow make their way to other parts of the galaxy and were found and led to an advanced race there somehow, right? Like,
I guess it's possible.
Like maybe that somehow changed the course of history and we have a Dominion invasion happen earlier than expected, or perhaps some of the dark forces from the Gamma Quadrant are brought over somehow. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things they can do. This movie was fine. It was fine, but that's all it really was. Like it was serviceable, but the first movie was serviceable with room for improvement that I forgave because I forgive a lot of its problems because it was the start of something new. And the second movie really was an improvement on that despite its flaws. And this one just kind of seems like it's back to the
status quo,
back to the formula. The whole point of this movie series is to shake up Star Trek, and now we're kind of falling into line a little too quickly, I think. Regardless, I had a lot of fun.
I did like Kirk's mention of it's starting to seem episodic.
Yes, that's funny. That's a little nod. I like that.
Oh, I also like how the very first warp 4 drive ship, the Franklin, still had the advancement of the shoulder harnesses to hold them in place. Trailers.
Oh yeah, we saw some trailers in this one because they showed still more recent trailers, not trailers that came out at the time of this movie. So I saw that second Rogue One movie, and I again said to you, man, I am so happy that George Lucas doesn't own Star Wars anymore.
Oh, no kidding.
So happy.
Or else it would be another white guy.
I am so satisfied with another female lead who may or may not be Force sensitive, or at least the daughter of a Jedi. Again, terrible job of wiping out the Jedi there, Palpatine. This is going to be a good movie. I'm not looking as forward to it as I am to Episode 8 eventually, but this is going to be good, I think.
There's that. There was that new Disney one.
Moana. You were going to butcher that. It's Moana.
Yeah.
There was that other space one with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. What was that
yeah, the crap, I don't remember the title. That's the problem.
The one where
I haven't
stasis, they got up too early.
Anything on this. The trailer made me interested.
Yeah, it seemed pretty good. Yeah, sorry folks, we don't remember the name. We know that Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are in it.
They're the only awake humans on what looks like a colonization ship going through 120-year-long sleep.
That's right, and they got up, 9 years too early?
90 years too early.
90? I heard 9.
90. That's why it was bad.
Oh, I heard 9.
No.
So I think it's 9.
No, it was 90.
Greetings, folks. Carlos here. Dave was correct. It was 90. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Regardless, a number of years too early. So I mean, yeah, it's that one seems interesting, maybe.
There's one thing, speaking of trailers, the trailers for this Star Trek movie really did not do it justice.
Yeah, they were a little too marketing heavy.
Simon Pegg coming out and saying that this trailer does not show how good the movie is really shows just the disconnect between the writers and how the movie is and how they want to market it.
Yeah, but the marketing and how the movie's portrayed, writers and marketing are usually very disconnected. I remember hearing a featurette on The Usual Suspects where Bryan Singer was talking about how the trailer for that movie was one of the worst things he had. The first trailer he brought up was one of the worst things they ever saw. It was obviously John T. marketing, trying to make it like some kind of hip heist thing, right?
Yeah.
And how the trailer they got to do, like he had some unprecedented leeway to direct the trailer, right? I thought we were going there.
Yeah.
Okay. To direct the trailer, right? So I mean, you got to see a much better trailer for that film. But yeah, trailers, unfortunately, marketing can ruin shit. Marketing and focus groups and the imaginations of white male executives can ruin a lot. That's why we see things that's why it's so hard to get prominent female characters and prominent characters who are not cisgender white men. You know, like that's just how it is. So I'm not at all surprised that the trailers for this movie were garbage, because some John T. marketing decided they wanted to show hip shit, because that's what the kids like and that's what their numbers tell them, and they have no brain in their fucking head or any kind of sense to actually, realize that that's not going to work. It's the same reason, for whatever my issues were with the show, and I had a lot of problems, why Young Justice getting cancelled happened. It got cancelled initially because too many girls and women were watching it, and Green Lantern the animated series, and marketing folks couldn't figure out how to market to female buyers, so instead of actually trying, they fucking just cancelled the fucking series. That's partly why I'm happy Young Justice is getting a third season now, finally. Even though I had grievances with the show, I am looking forward to that, and I'm always, it's always heartening to see shows that were canceled due to that kind of stupidity coming back, right? What was I talking about again?
Trailers.
Right, trailers. Yeah, the trailers are fun.
Okay, that's all we got to say.
Yeah. Go to twofatguystalk.com for more of this and our other show, the Carl's Nave Anime Rave. You can also go to our alternate URL, animerave.xyz. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, improvements, death threats, maybe don't send us death threats. Just go there, leave us voicemails, leave us comments. We're the best podcast on the internet where two fat assholes talk about nothing. We're also the best anime review show on the internet. You should watch it. Bye, folks.